Hey guys, it's Maymay, and I'm bringing you a last minute, easy to do Valentine if you have children or grandchildren or friends you need to make Valentines for. I actually have a friend at church. She is a school bus driver. Her name is Miss Betty, and she asked me if I'd be willing to do some quick Valentines for her. And I thought, sure, and if I'm going to do them, I might as well show you guys, right? Right. So here's the deal. I decided to make little arrows. You've seen these before. They're done on pencils or long pieces of candy, any kind that's long. So I thought it'd be cute to do glow bracelets since they're different and they're not candy. And you guys are always asking about things that aren't candy related to be Valentine's. So that's what I'm going to use. Now I have to give you a tip. The reason you're seeing this one like this, I found this at the Dollar Tree and it's an 8-pack and it comes with the little connectors to make it a bracelet. But here's a tip. When you buy them from the Dollar Tree, look for the ones that have this cylinder inside, and I'll show you why. You'll feel it in there. The reason is, if it doesn't have this kind of protector cylinder inside, then the bracelets could have already been popped, and then when the kids get it, they won't work, and that's kind of sad. But this cylinder protects them from anybody being able to crack them in the package. And cool, we can use that for something else, right? So anyway, there's that. All right, so there's 8 of these in here, and we're going to be making 32 today. Miss Betty said she needed about 30, so I bought 4 packs. We're going to go ahead and make 32, and I'm going to give those to her, and if she has extras or kids she can give them to, she can. This are the little extenders, and we're going to use them, but I thought I'd put them in a cup so they don't roll all over the place. One other thing I want to make really clear, okay? These are for 3 and up. All right, ages 3 and up. So make sure you pay attention to that. Now, I know Miss Betty drives a public school bus, so her children are 5 and up because they go to public school. But pay attention to that. Make sure you're not doing something you shouldn't. Let's see. I'm going to see if it says on the back anything about that. No, 3 and up. Okay, here we go. So I have all of my little bracelets right here. Kids love these things, and it's a neat alternative to candy, right? The first thing I'm going to do, because if I don't, I will forget, I'm going to go ahead and take these little guys, these little connectors, and I'm going to just push them all the way on, just like that, okay? And then lay it down. Be super careful. I thought I cracked that one, but it didn't light up. But be careful. You might even want to take them and kind of push them down on your work surface from the top so you don't take a chance of cracking these before the kids get them. The good thing is they'll glow for like, I don't know, 24 hours, 48 hours. Some people even put them in their freezers, and that'll help too to keep them longer. This way, when the kids get them, they'll have their little bracelet connectors so they can put them on and they can light them up themselves. I'm just going to stick all these on the ends real quick. And I'm putting them flush. They can adjust this. I'm going to show Miss Betty that. I'm going to show her that she needs to pull this down and adjust it. But for the process and for not losing these little guys, I want to push them all the way down, because if you don't, inevitably, it's going to get lost. So this is my last little connector, and I thought I would mention this in case you don't know how this works. What you do is you put the connector on halfway, and then when it's time to crack this, that's what makes the light work. You crack it like this. You'll feel it crack. It's really cool to do, actually. I love to do that. You bring this in around and lock it into the other half of the connector. But like I said, we don't want that to happen. We just want them to have their connectors, so I'm pushing them down like this. So these are all prepared. Again, we need to be careful with these. I'm going to put them over to the side. And the good thing is this, once you hand these out to the kids, they're going to want to crack them and put them on. So it doesn't, all you have to do is keep them safe until you give them to the kids. All right, the next thing I want to do is I want to take a punch, and I'm using just some red paper, okay? This is a 2-inch heart scallop punch, just one I have in my stash. I'm going to punch let's see, we're doing 32. I'm going to punch 64 hearts. You're going to think I'm crazy. I'm punching 64, and I'll show you why. I've already punched 60, so I just need to punch 4 more. Now, I was able to get a lot from one page. Let me show you. So from an 8.5 by 11, I was able to get this much. This is a lot of hearts, right? I'll count them. 20 from one sheet. So you would only need 3 sheets if you're doing what I am, 3 plus a little bit. Or if you're doing less, you'll even need less paper. So that's an 8.5 by 11. If it's 12 by 12, you can get even more out of it. So I thought you'd want to see that. Okay, so we have a stack of hearts. Now what I want to do is I want to count out 32 of these and put them in one pile and then 32 in another. You'll see why. Basically, I'm going to count them in half. So if you're doing 20, put 10 in one pile, 10 in another. Okay, so 32 and 32. I'm going to put these aside. I'm going to work on these. taking my double stick tape, and I'm going to use my little acrylic block to make this easy. I'm going to take one heart off, okay? And I'm using my wider tape to save time. So I'm going to use my sticky tape that's a little wider, and I'm just going to run some across the widest part of this heart and get as much on there as I can, okay? And I'm just doing it to one. I am hoping, since I have not tried this yet, we're going to assemble this together. I'm hoping this will wrap around that glow stick and just one piece of adhesive will be needed. I won't need it on both hearts because I'm going to sandwich that heart around the glow stick. And the thing is, those little glow sticks are really thin. They're probably less than 1/4 of an inch thick. So this should be plenty just to do this. And so I'm just going to run through here and add my sticky tape to each one of these guys. So now these guys are ready to sandwich. Now what I want to do is show you how I'm going to make the feather or the quiver. I'm not sure. Isn't the quiver what holds the arrows? I don't remember. The feather for the end. I know there's a name for it and I cannot remember it, but I could have Googled it, but what fun would that be? You guys can tell me in the comments below what it is. Okay, so here's what we're going to do. We're going to cut some 8.5 by 11 inch paper into 1 1/4 inch strips. So you're going to have 11 inch paper, okay, cut to 1 1/4. And you're going to need several of these. I'll tell you why. I can get 4 feathers out of this. So if you need 40 Valentines, you're going to need 10 pieces of this, all right? So what you're going to do to get even cuts is you're going to take this guy and fold it in half and crease that down, and then fold it in half and crease that down. I did not feel like measuring and coming up with what that number was. I happen to know it's like 2 3/4, I think, but this way I know I'm getting everything even. So this is how we're going to do it. Now what I think I'm going to do, and I think I can do this because I'm going to use my snips to do it, is I'm going to create my quills. I better not. I think I want to do one more thing. Okay, so we're going to fold this in half also, but I'm going to score it first. So now that you've got your piece cut to 1 1/4 by 11 and folded on the 4 places, we're now going to score this in half. I'm going to score this at 1 5/8. That is half of the page, okay, or half of the sheet. Now I can fold this in half and we can make our feather quills. All right, now I'm only going to put 1 per arrow, and the reason is, remember how I told you we put that little piece on the back? I don't want to sandwich that in. I want to be able to show Miss Betty how to use it. I don't want the kids to be able to see it clearly, so I'm only going to put 1 feather on the end. So here's what I'm going to do. The first thing I'm going to do is cut an angle on this end, like so. Then where I folded it in half, I'm going to cut another angle. And I don't care if they're perfect. They do not have to be perfect. Everybody's getting a separate one. No one's getting matching ones. All I'm going to do is cut an angle everywhere that those little pieces are, and then on the other end, I'm going to cut an angle. Now when I open this up, you can see we get that look we want for the feather at the end. Isn't that cute? And it's easy, right? And I get 4 from 1 long strip of paper with very little waste. Just a couple of pieces on the end of these little points like this. Okay, so there's 4. So I need 32. I'll be right back. Now I want to make a little strip that'll say Happy Valentine's Day down the middle of the heart. And so I'm cutting some more strips that are 1 1/4 inches wide. I'm not sure how long I'm going to cut them yet. I'm going to measure it against the glow stick in just a second, but I know I want it to be 1 1/4 inches, and I know I'm going to need 32. Okay, so I've got this strip I can put in my scrap bucket down here. There we go. All right, so here's what I mean. I want this piece to live, I'm trying not to crack this guy, to live right over this, and kind of, I'm going to poke a hole in each end and slide it on. So I think I just need to split this guy into thirds. So let me do that. Let me see if I can do that math real easy. I don't do math, y'all. So I did my same trick I did a while ago, and I just folded this guy into thirds like this, and we're going to see what that comes to. Again, the kids are going to tear this stuff off of this bracelet faster than you can say Happy Valentine's Day. So we're not looking for perfection. Let's see what this ends up being. This is 3 5/8. Is that right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yep, 3 5/8 is what we'll cut that at. So I'm going to run through and cut each of these pieces down to 3 5/8. Now that I have my little strips all cut, I want to stamp them to say Happy Valentine's Day. So I'm using Happy Valentine's Day from my Happy set, And I'm just going to get this lined up into the center of this little sheet, just like so, leaving myself some room on either end to poke a hole so I can slide this onto our little arrow. So that should be good. Lay that down, and then we can stamp them. Make myself some room there. All right, so I'm going to run through, ink this guy up, send it over, and do that 32 times. Now that I got all these guys stamped, now all we need to do is hole punch them. And what I'm going to do, some of them aren't even, that's okay. We'll just lay them out a little more even. Get those longer ones over there. Okay. So what I'm going to do is use my Crop-A-Dile and the bigger hole, which is the 3/16, and I think I'm going to set it on the side to where I can only go down 1/2 inch just by moving that little dial right there. So now I've set my little stop there to 1/2 inch, and I'm just going to eyeball the middle. 1/2 inch is too far, so let's go move it up a little bit more. Don't y'all love when we don't really know what we're doing and we work it out together? I really don't know. Okay, so, oh, that's good. So punch it about like that on one end, and then I'm going to punch it about the same on the other. And so that we're going to slide over our little bracelets in just a minute. So I'm going to run through and do that to all of them. The cool thing is you can do a bunch of these at one time with your Crop-A-Dile. While I'm doing this, I want to mention, this is a really inexpensive Valentine for a lot of kids because, I mean, 8 of those bracelets were $1, and then I just came back and used cardstock from my stash, you know, 5 or 6 pieces maybe total, and just stamping with what I've got. I mean, really, really inexpensive. So I didn't have to buy a bunch of candy. I don't have to worry about food allergies, anything like that. That's pretty cool. So what I want you to do is in the comments below, tell me what you would use in place of the bracelet. I've seen pencils used. I've seen Nerds rope candy used. That would be super cute. Rulers. What can you guys think of? Tell me something that you might like. As a matter of fact, one that I think would be really good are individually wrapped Twizzlers because they have kind of that red swirly design. Oh, or pixie sticks. Well, I'm just going to name everything and y'all have nothing to name. Anyway, you'll think of really cool stuff in the comments. And that way, if people need some ideas, they have 2 days to get them made before Valentine's. All right, then. We are ready to assemble. We've done all the hard work. There was no hard work. This is just time. Not hard. Just a little bit of time. Okay, something I want to show you. So I have decided I want to Scotch tape this piece on. I was going to sticky tape it, but I decided no because I don't want there to be residue on the bracelet. So I'm going to Scotch tape this on. But I think the first thing I need to do is put this little guy on. So what I'm going to do is stick one side through like this. Then I'm going to fold the other side through like that. Again, being very careful because I do not want to crack this little dude. And I'm going to do it something like that, okay? And then I'm going to tape this with Scotch tape just like this and then put my hearts on. Let's put the heart on first so we can see how it's going to look all together. So here is our heart. I'm going to peel off the backer. Find my pokey tool. Here he is. Take this little piece off here. Just like so. And I think what I'm going to do is stick it to the front just like this. And then I'm going to sandwich this piece over the back and let it be the one that bends into the other piece, if that makes sense. So now we have our little heart. This is cute, y'all. This is cute. Then I got some Scotch tape, and I am going to turn this over, put this little piece like so, and tape it on. This will also allow me to tape the little bracelet piece in place so I know it doesn't go anywhere. And that way the children have their little Valentine. It's really cute, isn't it? I really like how it turned out. I think Miss Betty will like these too. And another thing you can do is come back and put a little tag on them. I may tie a bow on these. I think that might be cute. Let me assemble them like this and we'll see what we do. So here's 4 of them, and while I was putting them together, I thought, do I want to tie a string on them? And I don't think I'm going to. I'll tell you why. Number 1, these are for kids. They don't need a string nor want a string, and they would just throw it in the trash anyway. I already have created some waste with the little pieces that are on here, but they're not the worst. So I don't think I'm going to add a string or anything else. You certainly could if they're not cute enough for you. Go right ahead. I think there's a lot of things we could add cuter. Look, I even had to wrap scotch on one because I got it too long. But children are not going to care. So I think they're adorable anyway. And can you imagine how cute whenever Miss Betty hands them the little arrow and she says, and by the way, it's a bracelet, so be sure to put it on your wrist. Super cute. I think they're going to love them. There are lots of things you could do to doll these up. Stitch lines in the middle here, maybe even another layer of a heart or a little piece of white in this area, maybe some stitch lines, some baker's twine here. But again, I just think that's something that the kids on the bus will have to find something to do with, and she don't want to have to clean up after all that. So she already has enough here. All right, guys, there's your last minute Valentine's Day gift. I hope that this helps you guys with what you're coming up with. Tell me again in the comments below what you would use for the stick in the middle. I think it's kind of cool to come up with different ideas. Thanks so much for watching, and I hope you have a happy Valentine's Day. Talk to you again real soon. Bye-bye.